Hey, just wanted to talk to you guys about what we did yesterday. So we went out fishing. and yeah, so what we have over here I'm in Idaho, and we have checkpoints for fishing because they're checking the boats for shellfish. They don't want it transferring over because it's an invasive species. So they're checking for a specific shellfish on all the boats that go into the river or the lake. So anyway, so we were at the checkpoint and they were talking about how people were catching brown trout lately in the river that we were going into. So to, go for that if we were interested. And so the first half of our day, we went to the spot where they were saying, people were reporting they were catching brown trout. And we didn't really have gear for specifically for brown trout. I don't know if there's even a difference. We normally just fish for like smallmouth bass for fun. And we like it for like all you can eat fish and chips and stuff. So we fished, oh, I don't know how long, like an hour, hour and a half, and just kind of slowly fishing the bank. And nothing, like nobody even got a bite at all. And yeah, so we were like, okay, time for a change. So we went to the spot where I know that smallmouth bass love, which is rocky. They like rocky areas. So we headed over to across the river to the other side where it was rocky and a bit deeper. And the first part of the day wasn't, didn't nothing was happening. But then my honey got a fish and it was a good one. It was a nice sized fish, beautiful fish. So he got that, and then I got one, I believe, or maybe not. I think I did get one. So we were one to one. And then he started catching like back to back fish, and he got up to five. Our limit here is six. And so I knew that oh my God, if I don't catch up, we're going to go home and I'm just going to have one and he's going to have five. And that's not going to happen. I was kidding. At least I'm going to try. So the when I knew, like, come on, you gotta catch, you gotta catch. We can't go home yet. So I go, to cast my line and everything, and a whole section I noticed was like unwound from the reel, so I had to straighten out my line. So I let my line drop all the way to the bottom, and then just, I started to unravel the reel so I can reorganize everything and rewind the reel with the line without a whole section was like out. I don't even know how that's possible, but somehow that happened. So while I was straightening out my line, which took a while, like it took I don't know, like at least 10 minutes, I would think, because I was unknotting things and it was a lot of line that I had to take out. And I don't know how things like that happened. But anyway, while I was working on that, I noticed that my line, like, had a pull to it. So I was like, they're checking out my bait. I'm not even moving it because I let it drop to the bottom. They're actually messing with my bait. So, I just focused on clearing up my line and making sure everything was good. So I reel it in, and lo and behold, there was a beautiful fish on the other end. So that was cool because I wasn't even, I didn't even try to fish. I just let it drop to the bottom. So after that happened, I was like, wait a minute, they're below the boat. They're just right under the boat, probably, for the shade because it was full on sun. Who knows, so they're at the bottom. So I was like, okay. And there was fairly strong current because it's spring, summer right now. So, the river it always has a current to it, but it's a little extra fast right now. Not too fast, but fairly fast. So the fishing is, because your bait is lightweight, so it gets carried off. So you have to kind of let it drop a certain way so that your line doesn't get pulled by the current and your bait never gets very deep. So anyway, so I started learning how to get it to just to sink down, right? So I let the line sink all the way down, and when I noticed that it's no longer sinking, then I'd start reeling, slowly and kind of teasing, And I started catching fish like back to back. So my honey was at 5, and I managed to hit my limit at 6 before he got to his next fish. So that was awesome. I don't know if he did that on purpose to let me win. I don't know. But so that was really fun. And so when I got to my limit, I started coaching our friend, John, because he was still at 0. So I started walking him through, like, just let it drop, like, notice how the current is pulling it, just let the line go and let it drop down. And then when you notice it stops dropping, then you start moving it, you know. It was about 12 feet deep or so, maybe 9, 10, around there. And he finally catches his fish, and then my honey caught his limit, and then we had been out for quite a bit, and it was pretty hot, so after that it was pretty much time to go. But at least everybody got a fish, and it was so great. So that was a great day. And yeah, happy ending, even though the beginning was really pretty sad because nobody had not even a bite. So, but we did get to fish an area that we'd never fished before. We don't normally go to that side of the river because it's a muddy side. We don't, unless it's because we have a railway also by the river. So on the areas where the railroad is close to the shore, there is rocky areas. So we fish that, and we get fish there. Anyway, it was a fun day. Yesterday was a super fun day. We had a lot of fish, big fish. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and I just wanted to share. I know there's no watercolor. Nothing about watercolor, but I had a fun day yesterday. And I took a bunch of pictures. I just kind of let the day be. So in the morning, I took pictures of more irises that was starting to bloom. They were dark purple ones just outside the house. And then I kind of walked around the garden that we have, and we have chives that are just totally, totally blooming right now. So I took some close-up shots of that. And then Honey needed to go to the hardware store. So I went with him, and they had a garden center. And so I actually went there and took pictures of the flowers that they had. So I have pictures of clematis, rose, just, little roses, and what is that? Honeysuckle, which I'm excited about because I love honeysuckle, the smell of honeysuckle. Oh my God. We had a honeysuckle, a wild one in Edmonds. And when I come home from work, I would always smell it in the summer and spring time. So I kind of miss that, and I'm excited about planting a honeysuckle somewhere strategically so that when I walk outside, I can smell it. That's the goal. Right now we have lilacs, and from the shop to the house, I can smell the lilacs, which is awesome. But I'm trying to figure out, like, where would be a good spot for honeysuckle to grow. Yeah, so that's the dream. More flowers, yay. So yeah, I will let you go. Oh, this is longer than I was anticipating. Okay, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.